The rain tapped softly against the cafe windows, golden light spilling across the cozy interior. Ethan Cole sat alone, his storm-gray eyes tired, chestnut-brown hair damp, hands wrapped around a half-empty coffee. He had almost given up on blind dates, until the door chimed. A small figure stepped inside, curls damp, hazel eyes bright, red raincoat clinging to tiny shoulders. She held a pink umbrella and smiled shyly. "My mommy's sorry she's late," she said. In that moment, the warmth of the cafe felt brighter, the loneliness in Ethan's chest eased, and a small, fearless girl brought life, and hope, back into the quiet room. Soft rain tapped gently against the cafe windows, painting blurred streaks of gold and silver across the glass. Inside, the warm hum of quiet conversations mixed with the faint clink of cups. Ethan Cole, 39, sat near the window, his storm-gray eyes focused on the rain outside. His chestnut-brown hair was slightly damp from the walk over, a few strands falling against his forehead. He wore a navy shirt, charcoal coat, dark jeans, and brown boots. The seat across from him remained empty, a reminder that his blind date was probably not coming. He stirred his half-empty coffee, watching the steam fade. A soft sigh escaped his lips. He wasn't sure why he still tried, perhaps hope was just a habit. Then, the cafe door chimed softly. A gust of cool air slipped in with the scent of rain. Ethan glanced up, and froze. A little girl stood in the doorway, no taller than the counter, her hazel eyes bright with curiosity, rosy cheeks glowing from the cold, and soft chestnut curls sticking damply to her forehead. She wore a red raincoat, white tights, and yellow boots, clutching a pink umbrella that dripped gently onto the floor. She looked around the cafe, then spotted him. With small, determined steps, she walked over to his table. "Are you Mr. Ethan?" she asked softly, her voice sweet but sure. Ethan blinked in surprise. Yes. I'm Ethan." The girl smiled, a shy, innocent grin that warmed the air around them. "My mommy's sorry she's late." Ethan's heart softened. The rain outside no longer sounded lonely, it sounded alive. Something about this little girl's presence, her fearless sincerity, made him feel as though his quiet world was about to change. Inside the cozy cafe, the rain continued its gentle rhythm against the windows. The golden light wrapped the room in warmth, soft music playing faintly in the background. Ethan Cole, 39, leaned forward slightly, his storm-gray eyes softening as the little girl climbed into the chair across from him. He had never been good with children, but something about her calm confidence disarmed him completely. She carefully set her pink umbrella on the floor beside her, water dripping onto the tiles, and swung her small legs under the table. Her red raincoat was unbuttoned now, revealing a pale yellow dress underneath. Her chestnut curls, still damp from the drizzle, framed her rosy cheeks, and her hazel eyes sparkled with innocent curiosity. "Do you like coffee?" she asked, tilting her head. Ethan smiled faintly. "I do, though mine got cold waiting for your mommy." The girl giggled, a sound that felt like sunlight cutting through rain. "Mommy says cold coffee makes people sad. She says kindness warms hearts like coffee does." Ethan couldn't help but smile, really smile, for the first time in weeks. "That's a very smart thing to say." The girl beamed. "Mommy says smart is when your heart listens, not just your brain." He chuckled softly, glancing at the rain outside. "Your mommy sounds pretty wise." "She is," the girl said proudly. "She's just always running late, but she says good people wait." Something in those words touched him. He hadn't realized how heavy his loneliness had become until that moment, until this small, bright soul had walked in from the rain and made the world feel soft again. Ethan looked at the empty chair beside the girl and, for the first time, didn't mind waiting. The rain outside had softened to a quiet drizzle, leaving silvery trails on the cafe windows. The warm light flickered gently across the wooden tables, and the air smelled faintly of roasted coffee and vanilla pastries. Ava, 6, leaned her elbows on the table, humming softly as she traced shapes in the foggy window beside her. Ethan Cole, 39, watched her with quiet affection. He hadn't expected company tonight, especially not the kind that filled silence so easily. Her small yellow boots swung back and forth beneath the chair, her red raincoat draped over the backrest, and her chestnut curls framed her glowing rosy cheeks. "Do you come here a lot?" Ethan asked gently. Ava nodded. "Sometimes Mommy brings me here after work. She says the rain makes hot chocolate taste better." Ethan smiled, his storm-gray eyes softening. "Your mom sounds like someone who knows how to make a rainy day special." "She does," Ava said with a dreamy sigh. "She says the rain helps people slow down and listen." She paused, looking thoughtful. "Maybe that's why you were here too." The question caught him off guard. He opened his mouth to reply, but before he could, the cafe door chimed again. Lily, 33, stepped in, rain glistening in her brown hair, strands escaping her loose tie. Her amber eyes swept the room anxiously until they landed on Ava, and then softened with relief. She exhaled, smiling through her fatigue. "Mommy." Ava jumped from her seat, running straight into her mother's arms. Lily knelt, hugging her tightly, the tension in her shoulders melting away. Ethan watched the reunion quietly, a small smile touching his lips. The rain outside had almost stopped, but somehow, inside the cafe, the warmth had only just begun. The cafe's soft music played beneath the steady patter of rain outside. Lily, 33, sat across from Ethan Cole, 39, now, a cup of steaming tea between her hands. Her amber eyes still held traces of worry, but her shoulders had relaxed, her gray coat resting on the chair behind her. Ava, 6, sat between them, happily sipping a mug of warm cocoa, her hazel eyes bright, her chestnut curls curling slightly from the cafe's warmth. "Thank you," Lily said quietly, her voice calm but sincere. "For keeping her company. I was, later than I meant to be." Ethan smiled gently, his storm-gray eyes kind. "She kept me company, actually. Told me all about her goldfish, her favorite superhero, and how she likes rainy days." Lily chuckled softly, brushing a damp strand of hair behind her ear. "That sounds like her." She turned to Ava, who was busy drawing hearts in the condensation on her cup. "You didn't cause any trouble, did you, sweetheart?" Ava shook her head with an innocent grin. "Nope. Ethan was nice. He even listened to my stories." Ethan's smile deepened, a warmth settling in his chest that he hadn't felt in a long time. For a moment, the world outside, the gray skies, the rain, the ache of loneliness, seemed to fade. Lily noticed the faint tiredness in his eyes, something familiar, something unspoken. "You look like someone who's been waiting a long time," she said softly. He met her gaze, surprised by her words. "Maybe I have," he admitted. Outside, the rain began to ease, the sky shifting toward a faint silver dawn. Inside, laughter from other tables mixed with the soft hum of the cafe, two strangers and a child sharing quiet warmth on a rainy evening that suddenly didn't feel lonely anymore. The rain had finally stopped, leaving the streets glistening under soft amber lights. The cafe door stood slightly ajar, letting in the faint scent of wet pavement and the cool whisper of night air. Ava, 6, was fast asleep on the bench, her head resting on Lily's, 33, lap, her hazel eyes closed, chestnut curls spread gently over her mother's gray coat. Her red raincoat was draped over her like a blanket, white tights tucked neatly into her yellow boots. Lily brushed a few curls away from Ava's forehead, her amber eyes calm but thoughtful. Across from her sat Ethan Cole, 39, his storm-gray eyes soft, his navy shirt slightly wrinkled, dark jeans and brown boots still damp from the walk earlier. The golden cafe light painted quiet halos around them, making the world beyond the glass seem far away. "She looks so peaceful," Ethan said softly, voice low enough not to wake the child. Lily smiled faintly. "She always sleeps like that when she feels safe." Her gaze lingered on Ava for a moment before meeting his. I think, she felt that with you. Ethan's heart tightened, a mix of warmth and longing in his chest. He hadn't expected the evening to mean this much, to find comfort in strangers, to feel seen again. Thank you for being kind, Lily said gently. Not many people would have stayed. Ethan gave a quiet smile. Sometimes, the right moments find us when we least expect them. Outside, the rain-soaked street shimmered under streetlights. Lily carefully lifted Ava into her arms, whispering, "Say goodbye, sweetheart." Half asleep, Ava mumbled, "Bye, Ethan." He watched them go, his reflection faint in the cafe window, surrounded by the glow of soft golden light, a fleeting connection on a rainy evening, but one that felt beautifully, profoundly human.